Hello guys, this is Zachary1021 here, and today I'm going to show you how to change color palettes for Sega Genesis games. Now, just like in my GBA video, this is only to change the color palettes of the games. This isn't changing the palette in general, as that takes much more work than what I'm about to do here. Nonetheless, it should be easier, and without further ado, let's get straight into it. So first off, you need the games, and for today it's going to be Alien Soldier, Postman, and Street Fighter 2 Special Champion Edition. Now they have to be in .bin format, but if your game says like .gen or .md or something like that, you can rename it and change that to .bin, and it will give you like a warning and you just click yes, and the game will still work fine either way. And the reason they need to be .bin is so that Hivepal can read them and we can mod the color palettes. Now, as for the tools we need an emulator that can make a save state and GSavestate. And then we're going to need Cygnus. As for the notepad, it's optional, but it'll be helpful for the future, so that whenever you do decide to mod the game again, you will know where the palette is. And as for Hivepal, this is for actually changing the colors of the game, and the fixed checksum is also optional, but there are some emulators that already fix it when you load the game. So if you're in the issue where like the game doesn't work, you can always use this, and if the game still doesn't work, I have a solution for that at the end of the video. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first thing you want to do is look for the game. So I have Alien Soldier here, and now we're going to use the first step, which is to open Fusion with the emulator. So open the game. Alien Soldier is right here, and what we want to do is look for a screen of the character we want to edit. So I want to edit the main character, so what I'm going to do is wait for the game to start, and then when the main character is on the screen, I'm going to pause and make a save state. So let's do that right now. I'm going to turbo. Alright, so this is the main character. He's on the screen right now. Now this game, the main character has two modes. He has his white armor mode, in which he can stand still and shoot in 8 directions, or you press down in A and he goes into his gold armor form, in which he can move and shoot at the same time. So for this video, I want to change the gold armor form. So here he is right here, and now that he's on the screen and I know that I want to change this character, I'm going to make a save state. So with the emulator, you go to Save State As, which is Shift F5, and it's going to ask you to pick a file name. You're going to name it Alien Soldier Test. Now that we have our save state, we can close out the emulator for now. So that's step one. Now we go into GSavestate. And with GSavestate, while we have this open, it could be useful to also have a notepad out so that you can take notes for the future reference. Like, it's not necessary you don't absolutely need it, but it would be easier to put it into Cygnus instead of having to memorize it. Anyways, so we have the save state. Let's use GSavestate and load save state, which is right here. You go to File and load save state. So here's the Alien Soldier test save state that we made. We're going to click that. And now we're going to do two things. First, we're going to go to VDP and then go to Color RAM. And you can see all these colors here. And then click on View and click on Screen, which is F5. As you can see, the characters here, this is the save state we just made. You can think of it like an image, I guess. And over here is all of the color palettes that we have. And all of these colors is coming from this very specific screen right here. So why GSavestate? Well, using GSavestate will make finding the colors much easier when we go into Hivepal. And I'll get into that in a bit, so let's take it slow and I'll explain. So first thing we want to do is find this armor piece, which is kind of gold yellow, so it obviously has to be one of these. So let's try something really yellow. Let's see if it's this one just in case. So let's try this. Let's change it to white, completely white. So I don't really see any changes here, so I'll pretty much consider this not the armor. So let's keep going. Let's try this sort of, like, it is kind of a dark yellow, so let's try this one here. Make it completely white. Now, I don't know if you saw it, but his armor color actually changed. And to make sure, we're going to keep going. So let's go to the darker color, which is right here. Let's make it white. And it's changing even more now, so I'm pretty confident that this whole line right here, all the way to this very dark part, is the armor. But to make sure, let's keep going. White. And then white. So this is definitely his gold armor piece. Is this line right here. Now, if you want to, we could go into the next step of taking notes, but before we do that, here's an optional thing you can do. So what you want to do is go to File. I know I'm going a bit fast. I apologize. Go to File, load save state. It's gonna ask you to save. Pick No, and then reload the save state. As you can see, it's back to normal. From here, if you want, you can mess around with these colors and see if you can get one that you kind of like. So I want to change this to, let's say black. So let's try that. So there's 4 different shades. So what I want to do is go from like a gray and then slowly go down the shades to like black. So let me demonstrate. So this is the lightest color. Let's change it to, let's put it to gray. And let's put it right around here. And let's add it to custom colors too. Click OK. As you can see, it changes a bit. Now we go into the next shade. Let's load that custom color we just made. And now let's put it slightly darker. And then add that to replace it. And click OK. OK, it's getting darker. Next color. Let's go back to the custom color we made again. Slightly darker. And then add that. And click OK. Now it's looking a bit better. And then we go into the last one. We go to the custom color again, put it darker. We don't really have to add it since this is the last color, but just in case. And okay. So now his armor is black. However, this is only a preview. This is only a save state. So even if we save this, it's not going to have much of an effect when we actually go into the game. It's not going to do anything. His armor is still going to be gold. So this is where the notes come in. So what you want to do is go to File and load save state. Don't save the changes. Click No. Open the Alien Soldier test save data that we made. I should say save state. My bad. And now we gotta find the code for these 4 colors right here. Let's do that. So we're going to call this Alien Soldier Golden Armor. So obviously it's left to right, which is very important. So let's start from the left. I know this is the darkest color of the armor, so I'm going to start here. So here it is, and just in case I am wrong, you can click on hexadecimal. And when you click on hexadecimal, you can scroll down and it'll go through the colors left from right. So I'm going to go right here, and this is the color we're starting with, and it says 0022. Now, this also shows it on the bottom right here, 0022, so you don't have to look at the hexadecimals. But it'll be a bit easier since you can just go from 0022 and then go down. And from there, it'll be easier to type. So let's do that. So 0022, that's the first color. Then this is 0046. Next color is 0488. And then the next color is 08cc. And because I already messed around with this, I can definitely tell this is the complete gold armor piece, and I don't have to worry. So you're probably wondering, okay, now that we have the code, what happens next? Well, we have the code, so we don't really need the save state viewer at this point. We can close it. Now with our notes, we can actually find exactly where this code is in the game. So let's do that. Let's go to Cygnus, which is the next step. Put it right here. Now with Cygnus, this is the same thing as my GBA. What you want to do with Cygnus is open the game of your choosing and then search for the code with Control F. So let's do that. So you open Cygnus, go to File and put Open. It's on my desktop and it's going to be the game itself. Not the save state, but the game, Alien Soldier. As you can see, there's a lot of coding here. There's quite a lot to go through. But we want to just find the golden armor. That's all we want. So let's find it. And to do that, what you want to do is click Control F. Let me delete this, make sure the backspace. And you want to type this in without any spacing. Like, don't space it out, just type in the numbers in full. So to demonstrate, 0022 0046 0488 08cc. Now this is the code for the gold armor, so I'm going to click Find Next. And here it is. It's right here, which is this blue line. But unlike my GBA video, we don't need any hex editors or anything like that. What we can do is just get the number that's on the left right here. So all the way to the left of this blue line is this 0017430. So what you want to do here, I'm going to put this in parentheses. Now that we know that this is the line, you want to copy this whole thing. So you want to type in 0001740. So 0001740. And why do we need this? Well, that's what the next step is for, because unlike the GBA video, we don't need this in order to change the color palettes at all. It's optional, but you don't need it. In fact, there's a much easier way, and that is Hivepal. So let's open up Hivepal, and we're going to go into Load ROM, which is right here. Let's load Alien Soldier, which is our bin file, of course. You get this error, but you should still be fine. Just click OK. Now, with Hivepal, there's two ways to find a palette. The first way is to click Browse for palettes, and from here, you can press spacebar, or I should say Enter, and hope that you can find the line of coding that you're looking for. If you can't find it, or you're having a hard time, or you don't want to go through with it and want a more accurate way to do it, you can do it this way instead, by closing this out and entering the address, which is a hex that we just got, which is right here. Now, of course, if I type all zeros, you'll realize that it's only 6 characters or 6 letters and numbers. So that means that we only need the last 6 characters of this address right here, which is 017430. So let's copy this and put it right here. Right click and click paste. So now we have it here, and from here you can click Get Palette from ROM. And now you can see that, remember this color right here, this color of the armor, this is it. And just in case you're not sure, what you can do is go back to the GSavestate, load it again, and you can see that in the VDP color RAM, as well as the screen, that the color of the armor is very similar, or I should say the same, as right here, because this is where the armor is. This is the coding. So now we know for sure that this is the armor. This is it. Like, there's no excuse. We found it. So what's cool about Hivepal is that it lets you change the color of the game. So let's do it right now. So like in my color, in the save state I did, I want to make it black. So let's do that from the lightest to the darkest. So let's get a black color going on. Maybe like something like this, maybe. Like right here. It's a bit gray. I want to make it maybe a bit dark. So I'll do this. Then you want to go darker. So right here. And then for this, I think I'm okay with putting it just slightly darker. Well, all the way dark. And the same thing for this. So now the armor is completely dark. And when you change the color palette of your choosing, you can click Save Palette to ROM. Now, and another thing I should mention is that if you enter the code but the whole palette doesn't appear, you can increase the length to up to 40, and then pick Get Palette from ROM, and it will show the color palettes right under that line of coding. But we only needed the first 10. We only needed the first line, so 10 is good enough. In any case, we already saved it. So now we go into the next step, which is checksum editor, the fixed checksum program. Now, most emulators or some emulators already fix it on their own, but in case your emulator doesn't, you can use this program. So let's use it, and we're going to click Load Mega Drive GSavestate ROM. So here it is, the Alien Soldier ROM. We just edited it. We changed the armor to black. So let's open that. And as you can see, it says checksum incorrect. This almost always happens when you change the color palette of a game, so you always want to do this no matter what after you're done. So just click Fix Checksum, and it says OK. So now our game is ready, so let's check if it worked. Open the emulator, go to Genesis, and let's open Alien Soldier. Now, of course, I only changed the gold armor, so it won't affect the white one. Or at least it shouldn't. And as you can see, it actually worked. So instead of the gold armor, I now have the black armor. So yeah, that's how you change color palettes for Genesis games. But I can't stop here yet, because as simple as I made it look, or maybe I made it look really confusing, hopefully I didn't, it can lead to some weird instances, and that's where Postman and Street Fighter 2 comes into play. So from here on, it's going to be extra stuff, but you should still watch just in case, as this can happen to you depending on the game. So let's get into it. First, let's check out Postman. Now, this is going to be interesting. So let's start over, put this over here. You want to open Fusion. Open the game of your choosing, which is Postman. Let's look for a screen where he's on the screen as the main character. Go to Turbo. So now he's on the screen, and this is the palette I want to change. So I'm going to click File, Save State As, and we're going to call this Postman Test. And we made the save state, so now we can close this. Now we're going to go into GSavestate. Here's where it gets interesting. Let's go to Load Save State, the Postman we just made, the save state, VDP, Color RAM, and go to View and go to Screen. So what's so interesting about this? Well, like in my GBA video, games are made differently. Like, some things are the same, some things are different. In Postman's case, here's where it gets interesting. So as you can see, all I want to do is change his color palette. That's it. I don't care about anything else. So the first thing I'm going to do is find it. Now, there's a lot of red going on here, so it might be a bit difficult, but like the strategy I use in Alien Soldier, if I just start changing things to white, I should be able to find it fast. So let's start from the top, and let's start with this color. So looks like a yellow, orangish. Let's put it to white. And I think it changed him already, so I'm going to assume that's the color. So I'm going to load the save state again and click no. And I'm going to change him into green, but look closely at the screen when I do this. So let's change it to green. I can just go from here. Click OK. Go right here, click OK. So are you noticing that it's not only changing him, but it's also changing the score numbers and the color of like some of these icons over here? Let's keep going. So this might be the color palette too. Let's change it to green. Okay, let's keep going. Green right here. And now it's even changing his assistant or whatnot. It's changing everything that's his color is also changing. So what makes this very interesting is that some games like this, when you change a character, it can also change colors very similar to said character. And because Postman is like orange, kind of red, and a lot of the other things on screen is orange and red, changing this code right here will affect everything else you see, as well as like the icons and the other character and even like the start symbol. So that's why I think Postman is a very interesting case, and how games can be made differently. So if you ever see a result like this, don't be surprised. This is where you can bump into an error while trying to change the color palette of a game. And there is no better example than Street Fighter 2 Special Champion Edition. So, first things first, let's make sure the game works and make a save state. Now, what I want to do is change Ryu's sprite to like a evil, like a dark Ryu sprite. You know, like the dark gi, the red headband, a slightly darkened skin maybe, something like that. So let's load the game. Street Fighter 2. As you can see, the game works fine. Let's just get straight into a battle. I'm going to pick Ryu. Now, because I'm using a 3-button controller, it's not letting me pause instead of switching to the punches and kicks. But it doesn't matter, since you can just click on the options here and it should pause the game. So Ryu's on the screen, that's what I want. So I'm going to make a save state as. I'm going to name it Street Fighter Test. So we have the save state. Now we're going to do the method. And that should be it for his gi. So let's save the palette to the ROM. Let's close it. And we can close this for now. If you want to, you can save it, but this is a tutorial, so I guess I could save it. And now we're gonna fix the checksum. Go to load Mega Drive 32X ROM. The game we just modded, which was Street Fighter 2. Checksum incorrect. Fix checksum. Okay, and then go to Fusion. And now we're gonna test out if it works. So let's go to Street Fighter, and I present to you the red screen of death. Now, this usually, I don't know the details about why this happens. It involves something with like the checksum of the ROM space. I'm not sure entirely, but there is a way to bypass this. And from what I know, the only way is to use a Game Genie code, or a master code, I should say. So if you ever bump into a red screen where you modded a game, like if the game works before and then you mod the game and this happens, what you want to do is find the Game Genie code. So let's go to open file, and let's go to file and go to Game Genie. Now we have to look for the master code of this game. So all we need to bypass this error that we're getting, the red screen, is the master code, which is right here. We don't need to put any cheats or anything like that, just the master code alone, and we're fine. So you want to highlight this right here. You can either Control C or right click and click copy. Now go back into the emulator. This is the Game Genie code, so we're going to paste it here, and the description is going to be master code. Now you want to click add code, and now the code is here. So what you want to do is highlight it by clicking on it and then click OK. Now that the code's on, you want to go to file and click soft reset, and the game should work. Now let's make sure that Evil Ryu, well, I should say the color actually worked. So I'm going to go game start, and I'm going to pick Ryu. Now, of course, I didn't change its portrait, but only the sprite. If you want to change the portrait, you can make a save state like right here, and you should be able to like find the portrait and save it. And as you can see, it worked. So that is it for my Genesis tutorial. I hope you learned something from it. Maybe you already knew how to do it, or maybe you didn't. But yeah, other than that, it's a bit simpler than the GBA tutorial video, as in that one you have to actually like convert the color palettes and all that such things. It's pretty hard to explain, but other than that, that's how you change color palettes for Genesis games. If you get the red screen problem, the easiest fix is to look up a Game Genie code if it does exist, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.